This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm joined today by two wonderful people all the way from Greece, from Kamara estate. I have Dimitrios and his daughter Stavroula. I got that right. Okay. And Dimitrios, I guess you are the winemaker, and your daughter actually serves as enologist and agriculturalist at the winery.
We are out. I prefer the work outside to the vineyards, where everything is fantastic.
So it's very much a family business.
The family, me, my daughter Stavroula, I'm chemical engineer, I'm an enologist. My daughter is agriculturalist enologist. My two sons are twins, I'm 25 years old, I'm not here. They are mechanical engineer and agricultural engineer. And my wife, she's working with the computer, marketing, everything. So it's a family.
So you're all involved?
Yes.
Okay.
Not all. We have 5 children. The 2 are not involved. Only the 3.
The elder and the younger.
So if you wouldn't mind explaining exactly where you are and what you're doing there, which grapes you're enjoying working with up there.
We are near Thessaloniki, but mostly to the north of, away from Thessaloniki, but to the north, 40 kilometers almost away from the center of Thessaloniki, which is not close for Greek environment. And we enjoy to work mostly with the Greek indigenous varieties like Assyrtiko, Malagousia, and Xinomavro. And now we try 2 more different varieties.
Okay, the new varieties.
Yeah.
We try to also investigate the new varieties because in Greece we have about 350 unknown, must very well known like Xinomavro and Assyrtiko, but there were 350 Greek indigenous varieties.
So I'm very glad to hear. Sorry, I'm very glad to hear that you're not using any imported varietals then.
We started.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll ask that question again. I got that wrong. I misheard you. So previously, you were using only indigenous native Greek varietals, but you now have moved into using some international varietals?
We used to work with some international varieties like Merlot and Syrah, but now, 2 years before, we grafted with indigenous Greek varieties.
Like Merlot, we grafted with Limno, is the oldest written Greek red variety, Xinomavros, and the Syrah we grafted with Xinomavro. We are.
So I got it wrong. I got it wrong again. Okay, hold on. I'll try that one more time. So you did have some international varietals in the mix, but you've now grafted them all over to indigenous varietals?
Yes, because when we started in 2008, all the Greeks prefer to have international varieties.
Right.
But as our winery and vineyards start to understand where we're going, we decided to graft it, the Merlot and Syrah, with Greek indigenous varieties. Like Merlot, we decided to graft it with Limno. Limno is the red variety, comes from Omirus, the ancient Omirus, and is very well known. It's the first written European variety, red variety in the world, in Omirus. And we grafted also the Syrah with Xinomavro. Why? We found it that in our place, Xinomavro and Assyrtiko gives amazing taste, the first thing. The second is, we started with organics and other way, but sometimes after starting this, we decided to go only into natural winemaking and permaculture, viticulture, and some biodynamic rules. So we have to go in this direction with Greek varieties, not international. We have very good, the Xinomavro fits very well in place, and also Assyrtiko.
Why did you decide to go down this more natural route? What was the thinking behind that?
When I studied agriculture, agronomy here in the university, I found by accident, we can say, the book of Masanobu Fukuoka. It was the father, they said, of the natural farming. I read it and I decided that this one is what I want to do, because I saw that the environment becomes worse every year because of our actions, and I don't like that. It's not only because of the big factories, because of the car and that, everything destroyed, okay, the environment, but also the farmers, what they are doing, who are the first people that they have the best communication, we can say, with the nature. So you have to find a way to communicate with her, not to be away of her and destroy it. So I see that only the natural way, the biodynamic way, or the permaculture, there are different options if you want. It's the only way to find this communication with the nature, which our ancestors, they had it, like Theophrastus, an ancient philosopher. They had this communication. Why we lose it? We lost it, sorry. We should find it again. And the only way, the only path to find it, it's through that, in my opinion. So
now, what with the majority of Europe having embraced industrial agriculture, which includes viticulture, after the Second World War, and this movement into organics, biodynamics, natural winemaking, how much is that being embraced across Greece as a whole?
Across Greece, it's not embraced a lot, to be honest. But I think when the other farmers in general, not only the winemakers, see the results of a natural farming, and now with all these rains that we have this period, we didn't destroy our grapes are not completely destroyed like the others, the industrial farmers. They will see the results, and I hope that more and more people will embrace that in general, and in Greece, which are we are a little bit slower to the change.
Yeah. Even though we have very good weather to do this, Greeks in these actions are very conservative. The weather is amazing to do at least organic cultivation. At least it's very easy to do. If you take care of the right place to cultivate the grapes, if you take care about the vineyards, the problem with the organic or natural or biodynamic is to be every day in the vineyards. You can go for holiday in summer now. It's very nice weather outside. It's very easy to go somewhere and stay in the beach and leave the vineyards alone. You have to be every day here to take care of the vineyards. It's a living vines. The vines are very living, and the soil is living. So we have to take care every day. What action we have to do? Not conventional actions. Sometimes we have to take care a lot of labor to put it with how healthy in the vinegar. So it's easy, but it's not for lazy people.
I understand. So you said that the weather there is it's very kind to those practicing biodynamic or natural viticulture. However, I know that biodynamics always come with their challenges. What are the biggest challenges for you practicing viticulture in your region?
To trust mostly the nature and less yourself.
Right.
Understand that, okay, you are the farmer, you try to cultivate and you have the grapes and you want to have production, and everybody told you that no, you cannot without pesticide, herbicide, and everything, the industrial way. So the more difficult part is to feel faith to your belief that biodynamic could help you, and you can trust the nature. It's I think if you find a way to pass from this and to find this trust, everything is then calmer. It's a talent, but even though farming is a challenging job, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We don't fight the nature. We are cooperating with the nature to produce grapes. We're not really the people who produce grapes, the nature gives it. So we have a good cooperation with nature. We have a good quality of grapes. The next step is only to take care of the grapes, to bring in the winery and have a clean winery and doing the less actions to do wine, to let the fermenting alone, but to take care also for the fermentation, about all these things we have to do in a good wine.
How religiously do you follow the biodynamic principles? How dogmatic are you about biodynamics?
I will tell about this, how the religious. We're not dogmatic about dynamics. For this is just about permaculture. We are more permaculture action, and we're not religious about. We believe in some things of biodynamic. For this reason, we are not. We have a drone registration, but it's biodynamic producer. Outside, we have a horse. We doing 500. Stavroula, we started doing good manure. We put the manure and do the biodynamic compost. We use a lot of herbs. We use a lot of natural teas. These days, we have a lot of rains, even though it's August. The rains is incredible. We have a lot of destroy a lot of vineyards around Greece. But here, as we have a lot of rains, we have a lot of grass in the we don't cut the grasses. So for the rainage, we've done these days a blend of what tea we do with from
the compost liquid.
Today we're doing a spray with.
Okay, I understand. With eucalyptus, essence oil of eucalyptus, of lemon,
right.
Valeriana tea. The biodynamic
and chamomile to protect our vinegar from the heavy raining these days.
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
We're not really. We don't follow the rules of biodynamic without any. We are little activists. We don't believe really in everything biodynamic says. More permaculture. We leave the nature to live alone.
Now, for those unfamiliar with the term, would you mind explaining the concept of permaculture?
The permaculture is a big umbrella, we can say, in which you can find also biodynamic. You can find the natural farming, and the key of this type of cultivation, the permaculture, is the biodiversity. Like in biodynamic, it's not only the teas or the compost that you should put, is that it's not only one plant in one place. It's not only vineyard. You have to have more other plants. You have to have cupressus, for example, if you want to cut off the wind from the vineyard. Basically, you are going to live from the vineyard to making wine, okay, but that doesn't mean that I will destroy everything else. I want to have the wild animals, like the rabbits that we have, or the wild pigs that we have in our place here. You want to have other type of plants. It's because you understand that nature is not only one thing. Every time there are 80, 100 different plants and many animals, insects, that they collaborate, and that's why you can have the best result. It's not only a different way of industrial farming. We can say that we have only the teas, we have our compost, like industrial farming, they have pesticide or herbicide. You have this to help you, because the people in general, we destroy a little bit the nature the last years, and you want to heal the nature and to go back to the origins. That's why you use the teas and all these things. But you have to trust that biodiversity is the key for everything. This is permaculture most of the times, and people that they do it, they keep this biodiversity, and we trust the nature, and we find other ways to heal the nature.
Like you understand that something what If you are in a forest, the trees living in the forest, but there are a lot of biodiversity down in the soil. Why? Everything is cooperating in the forest, and they produce also, there are herbs, there are everything in the forest. We try to find a way to live the biodiversity and the balance between the trees, the vineyards, the grass, and the animals. We are not alone in this planet. Everyone is have to be in a balance. Our pig, we discuss with pigs. We have some pigs, but pigs live alone. We have about half an hectare, and the pigs running all the day around there. We have our sheep. The sheep running and eating the grasses.
Yes.
So it's something you put the pigs in a compartment and live alone. Everything is after when we take the grapes from the vineyards, we do the harvest. We let the sheep go inside and eat the grass. It's also they put the manure from the sheep.
Indeed.
It's a more complicated thing, like to have a vineyard and put the grapes from the vineyards and wine. So for this reason, one point is we have a very good grapes, and this is the only way, the reason we have good wine without any additives, even though we have zero sulfites in our wines. Zero at all, nothing. The total sulfites are 2 or 3 from natural. Right.
On the subject of sulfites, just very quickly, you don't even add any sulfur at bottling?
No, we don't want to do. Also, we are not dogmatic. If we need sulfites, we put some sulfites. If we don't need, we don't put. We're doing some tests before bottling for some weeks, very fast aging in a special compartment. If the wine is still good after 20 days in the bottling without any problems, we don't put sulfites. The only one we put some sulfites is the small, we produce a smaller retina. As it's crown cap, it's more, the oxygen goes easier inside, so we put about 30 ppm total sulfites, not more.
Right.
Only for this, the other not. But if we need to put, we will put. Believe me. I will not say, no, I don't put, I have a vinegar. If I will have to lose the wine, we have a good one, we'll put some sulfite, not too much, about 30 ppm total will be okay.
I understand. Now, one problem I hear the world over from those practicing much more sustainable agriculture is a lot of it depends upon your neighbors. Have you managed to convince any of your neighboring vineyards to move away from the conventional?
We are very glad to that because we do not have other neighbors. They just put wheat that it's not good for, it's very expensive for them to put whatever.
They don't put nothing. We plug, they put the wheat and let it. So it's easy for us. And another point, we're in an urban place, I told you, we have about 200 hectares around our vineyards. There are public lands, and there's some sheep only and some goats feeding there. There's nothing there inside. So we are lucky for this. We don't have neighbors. We have this intensive cultivation of a lot of trees or vineyards.
Well, you're very lucky.
Viticultural producers in our place, no one else.
Oh, you're extremely lucky, because if you're an isolated biodynamic island like that, it's like that's exactly what you want, right?
We are very lucky for that, I think, because there's no reason to persuade someone. They didn't do anything, but they just put the grapes, and that's it. It's very good for us. I don't know for them, but for us it's very good.
Now, you mentioned Zino Mavro. It's one of my favorite grape varietals. How much of your production is Zino Mavro?
We have 11 hectares. Now with the grafted vineyards, we have about 25 hectares for Zino Mavro and 2.5 hectares of Zino Mavro and 2.5 hectares of Assyrtiko. So more than about half of our vineyards are these grapes.
So if I was a Zino Mavro fanatic, what style of Zino Mavro wines do you make?
We try to produce Zino Mavro. It's more, the way of producing is the way of cultivation, the way of doing the winemaking. We try to take put in a very low temperature for some days in some hours, one night in the fridge, about 4 degrees Celsius when we do the harvest. we let them there, and then we drink a type of cold maceration for Xenobro without anything, any interference for 3-4 days. So we take the fruit, we have fruit of Xenobro, more fresh. We then squeeze the grape, so we don't take the tannin from very heavy tannin from the seeds, and have really, and from my opinion, we try to produce a modern Xenobro. A good Xenobro, we understand that's Xenobro, and but it's not very heavy and very tannic. So we produce a Xenobro 2017. It's already finished. Even they drink the people, they drank the people, they like it. So it's more easier drinkable, even though it's younger. But the Xenobro, it's a grape that you can age many years also.
Well, I think many Xinomavros, at least in the past, have been made so stringent and so tight that you wonder when they're ever going to open up. So it's nice when you see a much more approachable style of Xinomavro that doesn't need that long aging. Because many of these wines I've tasted previously, the ones that were much tighter, much more astringent, you wondered if they would ever actually open up. And some of them didn't.
Yeah, in the past there was the Xinomavro, they made it like that because the Greek likes the red wines to be very tannic. I don't know why. Understand why, but I think there are some winemakers that they made it in a modern way like us, and it becomes a little bit easier to drink them because I cannot drink the old
Yeah, I understand.
I like the old type of Xenobro, I like it, but you know, I'm coming from the sales place, so and our wines sell more to the youngest people. The youngest need more nice wine, full-bodied wine, but easy to drink. Not to wait to drink after 20 years. And to tell the truth, it's very expensive to keep a Xenobro for 20 years, 10 years in the warehouse, cover, and down and try to sell after 10 years. So easier to have some money, easier to have a fresh and more attractive to younger people Xenobro.
Well, thank you very much for giving me an introduction to your wines. I'm looking forward to tasting them, and once all of this pandemic goes away, perhaps we can taste together at some point.
Yes.
If we can travel, we could travel in the future.
We'll see. I'm not sure that's going to be happening anytime soon. So it's
our wines can travel. It's a pity. We love to travel to come in Canada and to taste people. I have many times came in Canada. We love it there. We love your people. The Canadian people love the good wine.
Yeah.
They love also to taste, to meet the winemaker, discuss about all these things. It's a pity they can do this. For me, in this November we have the raw wine fair. It was in a program to come also in Toronto this year. Right. It's a pity. I lose this time. Really, I lost.
Well, but hopefully. Fingers crossed, we'll be able to share some wine together. Thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.